one question in here. But before I answer the questions, remember next week, no meditation. The week after, no meditation too. And you still can come and join us. We have a bazaar, a flower bazaar at the back. We have a celebration starting from next Saturday or Sunday, I don't know, Saturday or Sunday. So it's the Chinese New Year coming up, and this year's Chinese New Year falls on public holidays, on Sunday and Monday. Monday is also a public holiday, right? The Monday is also a public holiday. It's a family day. So we expect a lot of people coming here. And this year is a little new for us because we are encouraging people not to burn too many incense. Only 3 sticks in a package. We need some volunteers. All right, questions. Let me answer the questions. Please answer in English, but it's written in Chinese. 師父，當別人指責我時，無論對或錯，我都會發惡反抗，罵回去，之後有反省，但係如何改善呢？ See if I'm right or wrong. Judging by the calligraphy, this is a man, not a woman. Don't tell me. I don't need to know who. Yeah. So it says that when somebody reprimanding me, scolding at me, whether he or she is right or wrong, I immediately will respond with emotions. I want to yell him back. I want to get even with him. I don't care because he's not respecting me. So at one time, he's doing that to me. I'm reciprocating by having the same emotions. That's what I usually do. That's what it says in here. And then, but afterwards, I feel quite regretful about it. I shouldn't have responded in that way. How do I improve myself? So, to improve yourself, remember, why don't we get back to what we talk about? I can go to the sun and moon, answer these questions. The galaxy and all that, and I explain for half an hour. But why don't I get back to restrict my talking into what did we learn back there in the hall? We learn 3 things. The method is sila, samadhi, and prajna. Sila is morality. Sila is morality, precepts, taking precepts, guarding yourself against bad deeds to conform to criteria of morality. So we have the sila, we have the concentration, and which is samadhi, and we also have wisdom. If you have learned these 3, then you wouldn't respond the way that you used to respond. How do you use sila? Because in sila, it depends on what, so with your lay persons, you have observed the 5 precepts: abstain from killing, abstain from lying, abstain from stealing, abstain from sexual misconduct, and abstain from intoxicants. Superficially, because you are yelling back, abstain from killing, you're not killing anybody. So it seems that you're okay. Abstaining from lying, you're not lying. But why are some people yelling at you? Is it because you're lying? Or we don't know. Sexual misconduct, nothing to do with that. Drinking, maybe that guy is drinking and not you. And intoxicants, that's not the 5 precepts are not applicable. So that's the reason why you should take more than 5 precepts. There are the Bodhisattva precepts. What are Bodhisattva precepts? Bodhisattvas precepts are more geared towards thinking, not geared towards the actual performance. As long as I don't kill, I'm okay. I don't lie, I don't commit sexual misconduct, it's okay. I don't drink. But Bodhisattva precepts that you take, for example, the Bodhisattva precepts we advocate, we encourage people to take, has 41 precepts in it. One of these precepts is when somebody yell at you, you don't yell back. You have to stay calm because you don't want to make other parties unhappy. And so the precept would immediately stop you. I shouldn't be yelling back. I shouldn't be yelling back at him because the precept said that I should stay calm and not be revengeful. Why are you yelling back? You want to be revengeful. You want to do what other people have done to you. You want to do the same thing. They blame you, you blame him. They hit you, you hit him back. You're revengeful, you want to, quote unquote, get evens with them. But if you do a sila, that means superficially, all this, you remember the sila, then say, I shouldn't yell back at him. It stops me right with an alarming system. It alarms me to say, I shouldn't be yelling back at him. Of course, the explanation as to why, because by yelling back at him, you won't improve the situation. You only infuriate him more. By yelling back at him, you will also infuriate yourself. You're being emotional. So a bodhisattva should not be emotional. So if you have these precepts, and if you are always remembering those precepts, the precept itself would serve as an alarming security to guard you against your action, your speech, and your thinking. You immediately stop. Then you say, okay, if I stop, that means I'm a coward. If it's blaming me, if it's doing all this to me, if I become passive, I'm a coward. So you want to express your ego that you're not a coward. And in the Bodhisattva, it says that you should not be egoistic. You should not be revengeful. By not infuriating him, by not answering back, by stepping back, you're not a coward. You are a hero. Why? Because it's extremely difficult to contain your patience and tolerance when you're being attacked. Who would stay back? Remember when you're walking into the alley in with the laughing Buddha. When you're walking in the temple, there's a laughing Buddha right there with a smile. And there's 2 avenues of trees and palm trees on the side with the laughing Buddha in the center. What did he practice? What did the laughing Buddha practice? He's practicing metta, M-E-T-T-A, loving kindness, not infuriating people. He's always practicing smile. That Buddha, the laughing Buddha, always expresses smile. As we always said, he's the most successful public relations manager in the whole world because he's always giving a smile. Even though you spit at him, you point your fingers at him, he's always smiling because to him, even if you hit him sometimes, he smiled because he didn't want to create mental afflictions in people. If you start to infuriate back, if you hit it back, it will create infuriation too. So what did he practice? There's this poem spoken by him. And maybe I'll translate a poem for you. I'm thinking in Chinese, so I have to say the Chinese words out before I can translate it. 手把青秧插满田. I hold my, what do you call that? 青秧. I hold my seeds in my hands, and I want to cultivate that into the field. You know how the farmers grow rice? They have all these shoots coming up, small little shoots, and they have a basket and they plant into the soil, growing rice. 手把青秧插满田. He's holding his bag with all these shoots of rice shoots and plant it in the water, in the soil. So he's holding that. 手把青秧插满田，低头便见水中天. When I look down, I can see the sky, because when I'm planting, I'm looking down. I won't look up and plant like that, do I? So I have to look down, and I plant all the shoots in there. So I really have to look down. Then, actually, when I look down, I also look up because I can see the reflection. I can see the sky by looking down. That means by being humble, I have a better view. By being humble, I can plant at the same time, and I humbleize myself. 低头便见水中天，六根清净方为道。 退步原来是向前。六根清净放为道，这什么意思呢？What is the meaning of that? It says, if I really want to follow the Buddhist teaching, I have to purify all my senses. I have to purify my eyes, my ears, my nose, my tongue, my body, and my mind. 六根清净方为道. The word Dao, that means the suits. And the suits, the sound of suit synchronized with Dao, the way, with the way. 退步原来是向前. Actually, every step I have taken backwards, I'm going forward. Being backward is forward. So some people say, I still remember saying, little is more. Have you ever heard that saying? Less is more. By having less, you have more. So how come this farmer, this fat, laughing farmer, a reincarnate of the laughing Buddha, how come he says, by going back and planting, I fulfill all my responsibility? Because in China, you know how they plant rice fields? They don't go forward. They start with the edge and they start to go backward. If they go forward, they can see. So if they go backward, they know what they have planned. They know the situation by going backward. So farmers farm the rice fields, putting the seeds in there by going backwards. By going backward is going forward. By being humble is actually achieving everything. So when he has back up to the edge, the whole field is planted. So you have more achievement by being humble. You can see the whole matter more by stepping backward. If somebody infuriates you, you get infuriation. You start to have a fight with him. You're going forward, but this forward leads you into trouble. In the Dharma Sutras, it says, infuriation would burn all the punya. The infuriation would burn all the merits that you have accumulated. Infuriation. You know why? Because sometimes when a criminal committed killing, homicide, is it homicide? No. Homicide, yeah. Committed homicide, the defense, he get a defense lawyer to defend him. The defense lawyer asks him, what do you do? Why do you do that? He usually say, I didn't know why I killed him. I didn't know why I did that. But at that time, I was driven just to kill him. Because why? Because his infuriation dominated him. So you always have to step back. Stepping back is to seeing more. Less is more. It's the hero who steps back, not the coward. The coward will always go forward. The hero will step back. And don't talk this to our soldiers. When you're going to war, I want to step back. No. So by stepping back, being humble, receding and receding, you save the whole situation. But he is infurious, and you back up. So the precepts would take place in here to alarm you. That's on the precept side. How about on the concentration side? We said there's 3 courses, right? Sila, Samadhi, and wisdom, which means is precept or morality, concentration, and wisdom. How does concentration work in this here? When you have concentration, you're not easily get agitated. You are so focused in yourself. You don't easily get angry. Why do you get in an argument with people? Because you don't have focus. You cannot focus on your own temperament. You cannot concentrate on your purity, on your tranquility. You're agitated all the time. So if you have concentration, samadhi, you're like a pond of crystal clear water. You're not easily violent with waves. You're always calm and clear. When you're calm and clear, you can see the moon better. When you're always wavy, a lot of ripples in your pond, you can never see the moon. You can never see the real fact. You can never see the real reality. So if somebody gets infuriated at you, He must have misconceived something about you. He must have misunderstands you. But he gets infuriated because you really committed something wrong. Then if you have that reflection, you know you're wrong. Then you say, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to do it like that. I make a mistake. I shouldn't have turned left. I should have turned right. I make that mistake. That's my mistake in traffic. And I apologize, and I have to pay for my mistakes, because you bump into other people's car. It's your mistake. He gets infuriated. Of course, that's his response. He's not a saint. He's just an ordinary person. Here, this guy, I'm on my way to have a meeting in downtown, and I'm already late by 5 minutes. Then you bump into my car, and because of your heedlessness, because you're not careful. And then once you get down, of course, my first response is, well, why do you do that? I'm on a meeting. And you get infuriated, and then you immediately fight back, because you created the traffic accident. They'll say, I'm sorry, and this is my mistake. Let's get the police, and let's get to what do you call that? Where they resolve traffic accidents. ICBC. I lost track of the whole world. I don't know what ICBC is, and some people mention names that I don't really know. RB for Royal Bank. I don't know what RB is now. I used to deal with Royal Bank many years ago, so I lost contact with the world. So ICBC, let ICBC handle it. Why do you have to be angry about it? And some people even fight. I saw people fighting in the street because of an accident, a traffic accident, because one guy was in a hurry, the other guy was careless. So if you have the concentration, just hold your temper. People who have concentration will hold the temperament. It's always good. If you're really wrong, then you're wrong. So why do you have to defend yourself? He won't. If he's going to hit you, there's something else. Then you backtrack. So concentration will help you in this case. How about wisdom? How would wisdom, prajna, immediately let you realize that you shouldn't be angry? Everything is causation. The fact that has become an effect in having that traffic accident is because of many reasons. It's my reasons, his reasons, many reasons come together. And none of these reasons is permanent. None of this reason has a reality in itself. It's all worked together that things happen. And thank God there's nobody that gets hurt. So you have the wisdom to analyze that there's causation. You have the wisdom to analyze that this is impermanent, this has just come up now. You have the wisdom to analyze that, what? This is emptiness. You should not attach to it, non-attachment. Let it go. So if you're doing that, whenever you don't have any sufferings, because you're not attached to those anymore. All these come up, all these mental afflictions of anger, hatred, violence that come up, you can easily let them go, because you've been training in the temple every Saturday to let go. Let go of all those that flow into your senses. Let them go and focus. So you have to apply what you learned. You have to apply the Buddhist teaching to daily lives. Tie it to daily lives. And some people ask me, how does the Buddhist teaching benefit me to make a lot of money? Well, I said, yes, I can tell you. It can help you make a lot of money. The 6 perfections. Dana is giving. Tolerance. Dana, tolerance, diligence, concentration, and wisdom. All these factors help you to be successful. And all these factors also help you, after you're being successful, that you won't be overwhelmed by the success, which is even better. Because when you are successful, you tend to go, you off track into some areas that are not righteousness, that are not mindful. As I always mention in the Chinese language, that if you become a multi-billionaire, you get into problems. Because if you used to be a good guy and you make multi-millions of dollars and you are billionaires, and then your wife won't feel easy because you have 50 girlfriends coming to line up to see you. And then you get into trouble because you have a lot of money, a lot of people will come to you. And then you have girlfriends coming to you, you have boyfriends coming to you, you have people who want to get some money from you to cheat you, and there are people who get you into casino, and because you have a lot of money, then you tend to attach to luxurious things. You want a big house in South, and you want to build up your reputation with those who are rich. And when you always mix with people who are rich, who are always attached to a precarious way of living, you like the best wine, the best car, the best house, the best boat, and then you go traveling around, and you don't have time for spiritual enlightenment. Don't think about becoming rich. It's only causation. You're becoming rich, you get into trouble. You're only rich for this life. As I always mention, in 40 years, at least half the people here are gone. Life is short. And you still want to acquire material? You think you can get happiness from materiality? You roll into the next life of reincarnation. You suffer. Why were some people born in the Second World War? Why were some people born in the Jewish ghetto? Why were people born into Germany when they were suppressed by Hitler? Nazi Germany. 6 million people killed. They were tortured to death. Why did they get that kind of a situation? And you were born in Canada, you were lucky because you've done something nice before. You must have done something good. Otherwise you wouldn't have been here. But can you guarantee where you're going next time? You examine what you have done in this life. If you have done nothing good, only for yourself, I really worry that your next life will be, maybe you still will be a human, but not as good as this life. And remember, there's a sutra saying, one day the Buddha was talking Dharma, and all of a sudden he was holding a handful of sand in his hand and talked to his disciple and said, all those in the next life who reincarnate as humans again would be as little as the sand in my life. And all those who reincarnated into the 3 vicious realms, animal realms, ghost realms, and hell realms, are like the sand on the ground. Most people don't get the good wishes ram, the good rams in the next life. And you know what you have done. So, if somebody is doing that to you, if you are a hero, if you really know your Buddhist teaching, if you really you contemplate about the laughing Buddha who back off when he's planting rice seeds into the oil field, you won't feel angry. You won't answer back. You won't be infuriated. You just say, I'm sorry, so we can resolve this. Just smile. And the guy say, why are you still smiling? Well, because we don't think this is an important issue. Nobody's get hurt. And if I make a mistake, I'm willing to go to ICBC and resolve the problem. So nobody should be infuriated. Infuriation would not help the problem. If you're going to a meeting, maybe we should resolve this and you can go on your meeting, I can go on my way. And if 2 guys will only fight when 2 guys use violence. If 1 guy back off, there's no violence. Okay, so I only got 1 question, so no more questions. You want to ask questions? Raise your hands, ask questions. Any question? No question? First call, second call, third call, no question. Okay.